Welcome to a new video. This is Glad Loser, and today is special because on this channel, this is the 100th video I've made. So I just want to do a quick thank you and sorry for there being lack of uploads. Partly was because I was working on this. I made a script for this video, which I've never done, and I don't think I even finished the script. And I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who's subscribed, who's watched the videos to the end. It really means a lot. But anyway, today I'm doing kind of a study. Today I wanted to find out which Total Drama contestant would have the best chance of winning a new season of Total Drama if they had returning seasons again by using logic. And by logic, I mean a rule set I've made. Now, the first thing I had to do was make my rules or categories, depending on which one. I use both. And I ended up with this. Rule number 1 is placement. The better they place, the better their odds. Rule number 2, number of appearances. It can either help or hurt their chances. Like if they appear 3 times and get top 10 each time, that'll greatly help them. But if they appear only twice and one got top 10, one didn't, that could hurt them. And kind of the last main rule was rule number 3, likability. If they're more liked by contestants, the better they place. And I also made kind of 2 subcategories because I found myself using these, but like they could fall under other categories technically, and that's improvement and BS elimination. If they improve, helps their odds. If it was they shouldn't have gone home, like a certain someone cheated at the votes, well then that could also help them. But like really improvement and BS can really only help, because improvement can slightly hurt someone's score. And also just warning you, I will probably refer to placement as P score, number of appearances as NA score, and likability as L score. So I don't have to say number of appearances 25 times. And let's see. I wanted to here's the last few things. I didn't include anyone from Redonkulous Race on this list, mostly because I don't know how most of them would do in a season of Total Drama. And I also didn't include any finalists or winners, mostly because I don't think they would win again. Like, I feel like writers of the show would more likely want a new winner than having Owen win, or Owen would have won every season. Dang it, I lost where I was in my script. Give me a minute. But seasons like Total Drama or Redonkulous Race could still help Noah and Leonard, but Leonard's not on the list. And yeah, that's basically all the rules here. Now let's start off with the honorable mentions, the ones who barely didn't make the list, and that's first starting off with perfectly Noah. Now, Noah has probably the worst P score, with his first being 21st place and his best being 8th on a season that didn't really affect most scores. But Noah surprisingly has a really good L score in World Tour and Redonkulous Race, where it had good bonds with people like Alejandro, Tyler, and especially Owen. Why did I call him Owa? I combined their names. I'm shipping them now. Noah's social game was also good. It got him a girlfriend in Radonka's race. He also had a slight improvement score, which helped him get even, which helped him get in consideration really for this list. But yeah, he wasn't really making this list. Like, he would have made a top 10 probably, but I found it harder to find a top 10, so I did top 5. Next, on honorable mentions, we have Sierra, who just had like a middle of the ground game, with her L score really causing her to lose a place in the top 5, and only having a meh P score. And the page turn, and then there, yeah, really, that's all I have to say about Sierra. She just had a decent game. She was liked enough, but and then there's Sugar, who I was terrified Sugar was gonna make the list. She got very, very close to making the list, and I did not want that. Like, it was surprisingly close how close Sugar got. But luckily enough, her L score fails her, and not really having an NA score helps her not make the list and helps me. But like, placement alone nearly got her on this list.
I personally believe competition shouldn't be based on points, but instead on your general awesomeness, which means I should not be in this canon!
And now the last 3 honorable mentions all really have the same negative score affecting them. So first up, we have Harold, who I thought was going to be a lot closer to making the list than he actually was, mostly because a lot of people thought he should have been a finalist until Drama Action. But in reality, that was just his best, with an awful L score, poor P score, and his N score. His NA score hurting him with his appearance on World Tour, with Lance Harold not on the list.
Gosh!
Next up, we have Lindsay, who was one of the most disappointing not to put on the list. Like, Lindsay was probably the closest honorable mention to making top 5. I really, really wanted to put Lindsay on, but I didn't. Because even though she had a great L score, her P score I just couldn't ignore, with her best being 6th in Ireland and having a decent 9th All-Star. Why did I write it like that? And World Tour really killed her, just like Harold. So, no, on paper, it shows no improvement with her placing. 14th on both seasons, which was Action and World Tour. But when you... Wait, no, it wasn't. It was Action. Nah, why am I saying Action? It was World Tour and All Stars. But when you watch the show, you realize she did worse in All Stars, being the first boot, where at least she survived 4 votes in World Tour. But with Lindsay doing worse between seasons, she just barely missed the list. I really wanted Lindsay, but her flaws are just too big for me to really ignore. And the last honorable mention, the last person cursed by World Tour team victory, is Lashana, who, when I was making this list, I thought she was gonna make it. I was fully ready to put Lashana in the top 10. Not top 10, 5. But With her P score getting worse the more she played, I thought her L score would carry her to the win. Lashana didn't even have that good of a L score, with her getting voted out instead of Lindsay or DJ on World Tour, and Social Game. Really, the turning point for Lashana was action, where she lied to get on the reward. That tanked her L score, because it was different after action. But she did get some bonus points for having a BS elimination in Island with people who are voted out voting her out, and a bird. But with all her flaws, I just didn't put Lashana on this list. And Lindsay ended up being a closer pick to make it than Lashana. But now that's the honorable mentions done. And starting off in 5th place, we have Jasmine. Now, Jasmine barely makes the top 5, but she did, and really for only one reason. She had no real negatives in her game. Like, I watched some Total Drama while making this, and the only downsides I found were her NA score and that Amy thought she was a giant in the first episode. Really, Amy was the only one who really disliked Jasmine as a person.
Giants! Are you and I gonna have a problem? Switch back, now!
And to prove my point, let's go over to her positives. Why she makes the list. But her biggest positive, besides her height and challenges, is her L score / her social game, with her having good bonds with Rodney, Sky, and even Topher in some episodes.
Maybe some windows?
My face! Must save my face! Oh.
She became Sammy's best friend and only friend in the game. And if that's not enough, she found love on the island. And as far as we know, she's still with Sean to this day. I hope they're still with each other, or I'd be sad. Plus, Jasmine has a great P score with 4th, and like I said, she has no NA score, so it can't hurt her. So she only has 4th on her record, which isn't bad. But yeah, with only a few people not liking Jasmine and her P score being good, I feel good putting her in 5th and on this list. And now we have 4th. Now, in 4th is probably the most shocking to make the top 5. It was at least the most shocking to me. But it was the most committed I've ever been to putting someone in a placing. At 4th, we have DJ. Let me explain. Now, looking at DJ's game, he doesn't really have anything that flashy. He placed 8th, 11th, and 12th, and doesn't have an improvement score. But if you look into his game, if you analyze it, if you just peel the onion, Total Drama is like an onion. It has layers. You see where he shines, because he is one of, if not the most liked contestant to ever play on Total Drama. His else and one of the highest L scores. And that is because of one reason. What is that reason? Let's look into how DJ got eliminated each time to explain how he makes this list. Starting with Island, he goes home because he And I quote from Chris, he was the only one who screamed and bolted without the killer even being there, which I'm mad about because in the episode they state that Jeff did the worst.
By far, the worst blunder yet.
Not to mention bailing on me. Don't you know you never leave a brother when he's taking a leak?
But nope, DJ goes home. Next is action, where he quits because he was cheating, and it weighed too much on his innocent conscience. And last is World Tour, where he is the only option to go home and most boring DJ elimination. But if you look at each elimination, it hurts his P score. But 2/3 are under the category of BS elimination. And I could honestly do an argument for all of them being BS eliminations, and all helped with his L score even more. And if you need me to explain how they are all BS eliminations, why do I keep wanting to say eliminations? I will, because I am very passionate about DJ on this list. In Island, they highly imply that he's going home because he did the worst in the challenge, even though they say Jeff did in the episode.
By far, the worst blunder yet.
And as DJ's leaving, everyone gives him a group hug, which helps his L score. In action, when he quits, everyone begs him to stay, and even asks if they can vote Chef off instead.
Dude, you can't leave.
Yeah, can't we just vote Chef off instead?
And last in World Tour, Chris screws him over by not letting him join a team with Alejandro.
DJ has Chris to thank for his departure. Not allowed on my team, and no merge on the horizon? Bye-bye. Nothing personal.
And then Alejandro making the challenge impossible for DJ to win by flinging him out of the challenge. Flinging? Or flung? I don't know. The point is that DJ never got voted out traditionally, which tremendously boosts his L score. Because, like I said, besides Alejandro, no one really wanted DJ to go home at any point. Plus, he was the last man standing on Team Victory, which gives him major points, especially in my eyes, because it killed so many others from making this list. And if you disagree with DJ's placement, I don't care. I will fight for this man's spot. This video's alone has made me want to make a full video on DJ, and he deserves this spot. I'm pretty sure, too, DJ had the longest part in the script. Yeah, it did, especially compared to the next one. Now at number 3, we have Cody. Cody's really only here because of his P score. I don't have really anything to say about Cody. His L score is good because he has a great bond with several guys, and then there's also Sierra. But Cody is mostly here because he got third in World Tour. And then it happened, I found Cody had a small BS score because he wasn't... Because the reason Cody has a BS score is if he wasn't mauled by that bear in Island.
Okay, I know I got mauled by a bear, but I'm feeling good about this. I'm a quick healer. And besides, Heather's as mean as a snake, dude. Her own team shot her like 18 times. They'll never kick me off.
I could see Cody going far in Island, just like in World Tour when he came back. But yeah, Cody was gonna make the list most likely on his L and P, mostly just his P score alone. It was just a matter where Cody would place. Because third is a very good P score. It's the highest you can get. Also helps that in some areas he made the finals, but he never won anywhere. And last, we have, well, not last, we have top two now. Now, both first and second were both gonna make the list. Like, they were both locks on this list. It was just a matter of where they would place. And it was always kind of a toss up of who's first, who's second. And at second, I have Courtney. Let's start with talking about her biggest negative, which is her L score. Now, it's sad to say, but Courtney gets less likable each season. Like, she shows up, and it's sad to see how far she's. I did not read that right. She's falling. Her falling grace is definitely her elimination All Stars.
You can't flush me yet. I'm still eating.
But Courtney has the determination, even though her L score is one of the worst, to make it on this list. Because in every season except Island, but we'll talk about that elimination soon. Because where am I? Why did I word this so badly? What's the point of script? I'm better without it. Her positives is that she has a fantastic P score, if not the best. No, you know what I'm saying? She has the best placement score. There is no one who comes close, especially when you counter NA score, which is 14th, 4th, 7th, 7th dash 6th, and 5th. And when you see she has the highest NA score possible with 4, it's amazing. Also, her lowest score, 14th, can count as a BS elimination because of Harold rigging the votes.
You guys think you're so funny. Let's see how you like it when someone messes with your love life. Yes!
And with all these nice things about Courtney, you might be wondering how is she not second and not first. It's all because of Total Drama Action, where she cheats repeatedly. Not only does she join more than halfway in the game, but she also would have gone home there if not for her lawyers.
Not like always, and this is important to remember. This week, according to our lawyers, none of you are allowed to vote off Courtney. Why do I have 4 votes to boot out Courtney when I specifically said you couldn't? I guess we couldn't help ourselves.
And because of Total Drama Action, I wouldn't feel good putting her at number 1. And also number 1, I show kind of bias. But now at number 1, we have the one, the only Scott from Total Drama Revenge of the Island.
I'm gonna strut all the way to the finish.
Now, the most interesting thing about Scott is that he was kind of the only choice I had for Total Drama Revenge of the Island. Because if you look at it, top 5 that season, well, top 6 kind of, was Mike, Joe, Lightning, Cameron, Scott, and Zoe. Mike, Cameron, Lightning, and Zoe all are finalists or winners. Joe tanked all stars, so that ruined her chances and wasn't really likable. So yeah, Scott was kind of guaranteed to make this list. on that alone. Like, he was the only option I had to even make the list. But where he shines is really likability. Not likability, NA. Where he has a positive NA score with 4th and 3rd. And likability got better in All-Stars, where he became more comedic relief than villain, and that definitely helped his score. And like I said, list making bias, because Scott's one of my favorites. But yeah, just I have only good things really to say about Scott besides Revenge of the Island when he was villainous. Like, being villainous kind of hurt his game more than helped. But with him getting 4th then 3rd and him on a positive like streak here, it's kind of, where am I going with this? Like, he just did good. And the most interesting thing is, every 3rd place besides him, well, besides Sugar, made the list. Like, Cody and... Like, let's look at the other 3rd place, which is the highest peak score you can get. You got Heather in Island, which she wins later on. In Action, you have... Crap, what happened in Action? Owen, who won a season, and Courtney, who got 2nd. But don't really count Action for Courtney, with 4th, technically. And all in World Tour, you had Cody, who made the list. And Revenge Island, you have Scott, who is 1st on this list. And in Packet 2, you have Sugar, who almost made the list. So yeah, P-score really affected this, but that's gonna be the list. And first we have Scott, which I'm happy about. And yes, if they make another season, using my logic, I bet Scott wins. But I'd also be fine with DJ. That's gonna be the video, so please like and subscribe. And if you want to see more like discussion videos like this one, please comment other subjects I can do or other shows. Because I do kind of want to talk about other shows than just Total Drama. And this kind of video might become more relevant because it's hard doing more daily uploads because of school starting. So I might take time into these ones. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
It's all part of my strategy. Let my team lose so the maggots develop a false sense of security before I pick them off. Occupied!